Good afternoon, everybody. It's Big Boy. We talked about ham radio a little while this afternoon. Talking to a good friend of mine last night on the air, WD5HKB, and he gave me some good ideas to add on to these videos a little bit. I was gonna do a video out and video my antennas, but been under the weather all week, trying to stay in, stay away from everybody, so I'm not gonna go outside today and do that. But we are going to talk about just some things in social media and some handy little things you can use. I briefly mentioned these before. These little quick reference guides. Find the cover on this one. Front cover. It ain't got a front cover. Oh well. Nifty quick reference guides. That gives you the band plan. Shows you from license class you have, what your privileges are on every band. I keep it by my radio, use it every time I get on here. It's very good to have. Got a couple of more. They're inexpensive. I'm sure they're still available through like ham radio outlet or any of the major ham outfits. This one here is Nifty's quick reference to DX. Gives you all the country prefixes. If you hear a call sign, if you hear an Echo Alpha 8 prefix, that's going to be Canary Islands. Good way to look that up if you don't have access to a computer in your shack. Like I said before, this is a quick reference guide for my particular model of radio, an FT897D. It's pretty handy. It's not as in-depth as the manual, and I wholeheartedly recommend you keep the manual available all the time. I've had to use mine here recently trying to remember some things my radio will do. It's one thing that the difference for me when I got into this hobby versus the new modern radios, my original HF rig, every function was a knob, a button, or a switch on the front of it. There were no menus to have to fool with. With this particular radio, you have multiple menu screens and settings you have to refer back to. It makes the overall size of the radio smaller, more compact. It's a good radio. I love it. It's just hard for an old analog person like myself to get used to remembering what all the screens were. But if you took every feature that this radio has on it and put it in a radio of 25 to 30 years ago, it would probably cover almost this whole shelf, because it would have to have every function as a control on the front of it. And this doesn't do that. It's one of the good things, I guess, good things about these new radios. They're more inexpensive than they ever was. I mentioned that in one of my earlier videos. Talked about this. We're seeing a lot more people getting licensed now. One of the best avenues. Everybody's online. Everybody's got a smartphone. There's that repeater going off. Everybody's got a smartphone, so you're able to access all kinds of social media. All right. QRZ.com, I don't know how well it's showing up here on the screen, but that's a really good website. ARRL.org, $49 a year membership. They help support the hobby. I've been in and out of it for years. I just recently got back in it. Glad to get into it. Gives you a lot of first-hand information. And if you're a tech guy where you can actually go in and work on radios, there's a lot of old mods, and you can access everything I guess they've ever done by being a member and going into their websites. A lot of good information there. Now, everybody that's on Facebook, all kinds of ham radio groups on Facebook, all kinds. And I recommend you looking into them. Just go in there and search ham radio. Like this one's just called ham radio. Here's another one. Ham radio swap and classifieds. Arclatech Skywarn. Dallas Amateur Radio Club. All of that's good information for new hams. You can get a lot of questions answered. Now, having said that, we're going to talk about one other aspect of the hobby we can't do nothing about. That's always going to be a factor in it. Always. The self-proclaimed experts and self-proclaimed band police. All right. Sooner or later, and this happened to me, it happened to every ham, you're going to get on the air and somebody is going to tell you you're wrong, you don't need to be there, or whatever. Best thing to do, don't engage them. See what this big knob here on the front of that radio is? That's your VFO. Find you another place to go. If you engage them, you're actually breaking one of the ham rules of causing problems on the air. If they really get ugly with you, get their call sign and report them to FCC. But the best thing to do is ignore them and tune away from them and go on. That's all I can tell you to do on that. Same thing on these social media posts. There's always experts that think they know more than you. All right? And if you get on there and ask a question that somebody thinks you should have known or learned, they're going to say it. Don't pay no attention to it, but ask your questions. I'm old school, retired military, and the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. All right? I'm personally on QRZ. KB5MIQ is my call sign. You can look me up on QRZ. My email's posted. I don't care if you email me personally with a question. I won't give you a smart answer. I'll try my best to find you an answer. That's what the hobby's all about. There's been a lot of things over the years that's been detrimental to the hobby. And I always said that ham radio operators was about their own worst enemy on this hobby. But it still prevails. Looks like we're getting more people every day, and it's good. We need to keep this hobby going for the simple reason of what it was originally set up for emergency communications in time of a natural disaster. It was never set up for us just to have a place to play radios. A lot of people think that's all it's about. It's not. It was set up to have a trained pool of operators that had their own equipment able to pick up communications in an emergency. And that's what it's about. And I strongly urge you to get into it at whatever level you want to get into it at. To get on HF, you're going to have to outlay a little money, but you can get on VHF for under $50 if you're close enough, if you live especially in a built-up area that has repeaters. I'm 16 miles from the closest repeater, and I've got a handheld in my car, 5-watt handheld with a little bitty mag mount antenna on the roof, and I'm able to hit it. Actually, I can hit several repeaters outside on my handheld. One opposite the east, about 25 miles away. So you're not limited by not having an outdoor antenna. You just have to know what you're in your area, and so on and so forth. Also, on your smartphones, there's an app now. This knocks stuff. The ARRL repeater directory. This is a hardcover book. I'm not sure they still reprint it. I haven't been on ARRL website enough yet. I just got into it. I've got to find out. This is a good book, but it's printed, and a lot of times the data goes bad. See, this is a 2014 model. If you look on your Play Store, on your Android, and I think iPhone's got it too, and look up Repeater Book. It's a Repeater Book app. Put it on your phone. It's got settings. It uses your location. You can set however many miles you want to be from your location, and it'll tell you every repeater around. I used it to find a repeater I didn't even know we had. I knew we used to have one in a local town west of me. Been shut down for years. Somebody started another repeater up there. I had no idea until I got on that Repeater Book app. Free app, and it works wherever you're at. And you can set the mileage out bigger if you want a bigger coverage area on repeaters. You're going to find a bunch of them that you didn't know was out there. Good app to have on your phone traveling. I've used it to program some radios up. I keep one or two programmed up, handhelds, when I'm on the road, where I've pretty well got something all the time with me. And now, with the world situation being what it is, I'm making a point to keep a radio with me in a vehicle all the time. Like I said in one of my earlier videos, what got me back to putting a mobile in my car was a tornado that happened back in '99 that either when the electricity went down. A lot of the cell towers went down. Of course, cell towers weren't as prevalent back then as they are now. But the cell towers were so saturated with people trying to check on people, you couldn't make a phone call. So I went back to having a radio with me all the time. But get in the hobby, ask questions. Uh, don't pay attention to the naysayers or the ones that will ban police that you'll run into online and on the air. You're going to run into them. Learn it. You can get into this hobby as deep as you want to. A lot of good information on social media. QRZ.com, ALL.org, eham.net. Three good ones to look at. Eham.net's got some real good reviews of radio, new and used gear that's out there that you can read about. Anybody have any problems with them? Facebook. Search Ham Radio on Facebook and you'll find all kinds of groups on there. Like I said, my call again, KB5MIQ. Kilowatt Bravo 5, Mexico, India, Quebec. And I know that's not the correct phonetic spelling, but with my redneck voice on the air, when I say kilowatt, Kilo Bravo 5, Mike, India, Quebec, a lot of people hear India, Quebec for some reason. So that's the way I pronounce mine, because it's call sign and my Northeast Texas drawl don't work good on the air. Again, enjoy the hobby. If you got any questions, like I said, look me up on QRZ, send me an email. I'll be glad to help you any way I can. This is Big Boy. Hope y'all enjoyed this. 73 from KB5MIQ. This Big Boy. Adios.